My dear friends, we have so much exciting news for the last episode of Ahsoka Season 1. I've got the runtime for you, that's now been confirmed. I've got some major spoilers and rumours, and on top of that, how Season 1's finale connects to The Mandalorian Season 4. You're not going to want to miss this one, but as always, massive spoiler warning. If you've been following my coverage of the Ahsoka show, then you'll know I dedicate about 1 or 2 videos each week to rumours for the upcoming episode. So for one last time, my dear friends, let's take a look at rumours and leaks for the final episode of Ahsoka Season 1, the episode directed by Rick Famuyiwa, executive producer on Mando, who's directed some of the best installments. In terms of the runtime, the Twitter account which always gets it right, Cryptic 4K Cal has confirmed it's going to be 49 minutes, and without the intro and credits, that's 46 minutes and 25 seconds. So a sweet spot, I would say, although I would have loved it to be an hour long, but this is hardly bad news. At least it's not like 25 minutes or something ridiculous. According to the same source that gave us info on previous episodes, there are 2 nuggets of unrelated information that play into the plot of the finale, and the first one is that despite Ezra declining his own lightsaber from Sabine, he will in fact have a new one by the end of the season, modelled after the one of his master Kanan Jarrus. I assume this is going to be Huyang's doing, and a welcome home present, as a way for Ezra to protect himself in future seasons. Ezra now uses martial arts, and claims the Force is his ally. While this is true, as we saw in the last episode, he is not immune to being chucked around, and so reclaiming the use of a lightsaber is kind of important. The second piece of info they reveal, and I should reiterate it's got nothing to do with the first part, concerns the Night Mothers. Diana Lena Santo, who plays Morgan Elsbeth, already revealed we're going to see her fight Ahsoka again, as we saw in Mando Season 2, but we now know that Morgan is going to have some help. The 3 mystical witches, the Night Mothers, are going to create for her 2 very special magic Dathomirian swords. They're inspired by sais, traditional Okinawan melee weapons. According to a wild rumour, there are also going to be some Nightsisters. The Night Mothers are going to bring about some kind of warriors, maybe ones that look exactly like a Sarge Ventress. That would be an amazing callback, but no further elaboration on this, and much of this last bit is speculative. These swords, unlike the Beskar spear that we saw her use in Mando, presumably grant Morgan Elsbeth extra strength and dark magic abilities. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Ahsoka this time round, but still, of course Ahsoka's going to be victorious. But the fascinating thing is that even if Morgan Elsbeth dies, she can simply be resurrected. Thrawn speaks about the illusion of death, and the Night Mothers can just bring her back. There are so many unknowns, and these are just a couple of tidbits, which I do trust to be the truth, but I will say they are still rumours. Anything could happen, things could have been cut out. Disney and Lucasfilm have a tendency to change things in the last episode, so some leaks could be wrong. As far as we know, there were no reshoots for Ahsoka Season 1, so if anything it's not that they changed it, but they may have cut some Baylan scenes to fit the new plan for the character, given Ray Stevenson is no longer with us. Or they could do a Cara Dune, even if his story is incomplete in this season, in Season 2, whether it's in the opening scroll, or have another character explain what happened to him. But those are a couple of rumours we're hearing at this stage. And another big reveal is that Baylan and Shin are in the finale, and they're not teasing us for nothing. We are going to find out definitively what is calling out to Baylan. So any theories stating we're not going to see him in the next episode seem to be wrong, if this is to be believed. And there are so many possibilities, but it is going to be resolved. Now there is one character that is central to how Ahsoka connects to the next season of The Mandalorian, Season 2 of this show, and that is Sabine. We are told that some of our heroes make it home, while others don't. This season ends on a cliffhanger. So why is Sabine so important? Because she is the connective tissue between The Mandalorian Season 3, Mando Season 4, and Ahsoka Season 2. Let me explain. Making Star Wars back in April suggested that if Sabine is one of those who comes back to the known galaxy, and I should say the separation of our heroes could be an accident, if Sabine is one of those who makes it out, she may have lost her family, she still has her old friend Bo-Katan, Mandalore is reunited, they have allies on Pazir 15, and Carson Teva is also someone in touch with Din, so Din and Grogu who live on Nevarro might also be contacted, and that is a way our heroes, all of the heroes of the Mandoverse, could go to Peridea to save whoever's left behind. I suspect it's probably going to be Ahsoka Tano herself. And that is how the two shows overlap and the importance of the reunification of Mandalore in Mando Season 3. Now, another huge question that's been building up the entire season: are we going to have confirmation of Sabine Wren's Force abilities if she has them? Is that plot thread going to pay off? I don't think she's Force sensitive, and in spite of the theme of Master and Apprentice, now that she's found Ezra, I think she's just going to carry on as a Mandalorian who knows how to use a lightsaber. She's got the philosophy of a Jedi, she's learnt a lot from Ahsoka, but I don't see her finally being able to move that cup with the Force. As I've mentioned before, I think Shin is the focus as to a Force apprentice for Ahsoka going forward, but with regards to Sabine, I always thought Dave was doing something very daring, implying Sabine has the Force, and I'm not saying she doesn't, but I don't know if they're going to go as far as giving us something huge in the last episode. It could be a small build-up that continues in future projects and seasons, because there was a moment, very reminiscent of Luke on Bespin in The Empire Strikes Back to Leia, where Ahsoka reaches out to Sabine, and she's receptive. I believe that planted seeds that are going to be explored later on. And of course, she's learnt a lot about combat from Kanan, from Ezra, from Ahsoka, so it's not been for nothing even if it doesn't get confirmed. She has life lessons she can pass on. She has grown tremendously in this season. In other Ahsoka news, the viewership for the second week, so episode 3, has now been revealed. On the streaming original side of things, Ahsoka didn't manage to move the needle much. In fact, viewing was cut in half in week 2 with just over 400 million viewing minutes, which is still good, but pushes the series down from number 2 on the list to number 5. But it makes sense viewership deflated, because when we're comparing to the premiere, the first week had 2 episodes, whereas week 2 and thereafter had just the 1. But Deadline is saying this is bad news and indicates the series plateaued early on. As you can see, viewership from Nielsen is a few weeks behind. It's going to be interesting to see the numbers for weeks 4 and 5, especially with the Anakin cameo, and then 6 and 7. The finale is this coming Tuesday, and so when, in a few weeks, the numbers for that come in, we'll have a full picture of Ahsoka compared to other shows in terms of viewership. But I've got to say, despite these numbers, and despite these reports, fans have been going crazy for this show. Star Wars has definitely felt more alive, although I know some fans are going to disagree on that. But with that said, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, and in the comments section down below, what are your predictions and theories for the final episode? I can't wait to break it down. We're going to have so much to talk about. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you, always.